Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from Blunt Clarity Clips. Feminist rages out on the patriarchy and then gets shut down. Let's check it out. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time. New podcast, at least to me. Seems like they do great work. Let's check it out.
And also, like you said, women create chaos, but if I talk like this, men create wars. Like 99% wars are created by men, are caused by men, right?
I want to add to a little bit of what you said. And this is true. If you really look at it, I know you say, the feminist movement. I'm not going to get back to that. I realized that you could put a bunch of men together and they could have nothing in common, nothing at all. And they would get along.
Yep.
You could live in a house and you don't have to worry about that.
The Bear Grylls experiment with the man versus women island pretty much says that. That was a group of men, random men that had really nothing in common other than the show and trying to survive. Got along, majority okay. And then the women's side, they argued about not having leadership, and then they argued about having leadership, and then they couldn't even survive normally because they were just catty with each other. They constantly didn't want to do what another person said. It's pretty obvious.
But if you put a bunch of women in one house for less than a year, some of those women won't even talk to each other for like the whole year.
Yep.
It's chaos, man.
It's chaos. Chaos. You're saying that, we should put all women in this feminist box and we should all get along. That don't even happen in people's homes. Mm-hmm. In your own home. When you think about it, mothers and daughters arguing with each other. It's very rare that you see a son and a father argue.
You see a lot more daughters and mothers because a lot of single mothers are still competing with their daughters. That's the problem with society nowadays. This is why the motherhood and the daughterhood is kind of fucked up.
But you see mothers and daughters arguing about what should be done and so on. So most women, and I'm not saying all of you, majority of women do not get along with women. But a majority of men get along with men.
Why do you think like this?
Because it's reality.
I can tell you. I can tell you because I kind of know where you're going with that. So when we talked about because he said like we are equal in value, like in value, but we're not equal in societal terms or whatever. Like men are stronger than women, right? Men are more logical than women naturally. So the way the hierarchy goes is that men are supposed to be in leadership positions. Women don't respect men who aren't in leadership positions for the most part. So what I'm saying is it's supposed to be men at the top. And when women hear that, they go, "Oh my God, women are going to be held down or whatever." No, like a strong man who's in leadership role, he takes care of everything the way it's supposed to be taken care of. A man is supposed to be the CEO, quote unquote, if you want to put it like that. And when women fall into line or whatever, she's in her natural position as a helpmate. That's what a wife is actually supposed to be. So you ask somebody why a woman wants to be a wife, it's to be a helpmate or whatever. But it's not a position of weakness. It's a position of strength.
Power.
It's literal strength. And
I love how he tries to clarify that with them because a lot of women seem to think it's a very weak position, a very slave position, but it's actually a very powerful position to be the wife, to take care of the house, to take care of the kids. You have a lot more sway with the man and the husband than you actually think. Like if the man loves you and you do everything that he wants, or he's hoping that it will be handled, you don't think that any requests you ask that are reasonable, he won't fulfill them? A good man will. Unless it's outrageous requests, and then of course he'll have to put his foot down. But most men genuinely want their families to be happy and well off.
Like that's what feminism has done, is warped every woman's mind to be like, oh my God, like if I'm underneath, quote unquote, underneath a man or whatever, then I'm in a position of weakness. You need to be fighting to get to the top or whatever. But it doesn't work. Women at the top in terms of leadership, it tears places down. That's why single moms can't take care of kids. They're not good at it. because it's not natural. It's not natural for women to be leading a family.
I mean, they can.
Well,
But then,
I'm talking. Have you seen? Hold on. Before we even go into that, go look at the prison statistics in America and see what 80% of all the prisoners come from single parent households.
I agree. Statistically,
It's actually single mother households more than anything. So, correction.
you are better off if you have your traditional family, if you have a male role model, especially for guys. But I mean, yeah, it's not to say that it can't be done. I mean,
of course.
we're
We're talking about the 20%, but like, what if I say that or whatever, people go like, they'll be like, what I'm saying is when a man is in a leadership position, he's not going around his buddies like, look what I got. I'm really holding all those people down. No, it's not even a thing. He's just like, I'm in a position, and I
don't think I've ever had any friends or any male, period, ever come to me. It's like, oh yeah, my wife and kids, I control them. I love it. I tell them to do everything, and they have to do everything I say. Just because I'm the father. I'm the head of the household. Yeah, I'm the man. Who the fuck says this shit?
I have responsibilities, and I'm going to take care of those responsibilities. I'm going to take care of everything that's under me. My wife, my family, all that whole family. The when you're in different countries, the wife's family comes and lives with the family. Like it's a position. It's not an enviable role for a lot of people. It's hard.
We don't brag about it. We don't complain about it. We just do it.
Yeah.
Like, you understand?
It's just something you have to do.
Sorry, Shishi, what were you going to say?
I just feel it's very. I didn't expect you guys still think like this. Like I feel,
100%.
This woman is definitely Chinese, foreign Chinese too.
Also,
100%.
like, okay, from my world, it's very different story. And
Your world?
yeah.
What do you mean your world?
Yeah, it's totally different. Like, I mean,
I love that he called her out immediately. Your world. It's one world, girl.
No.
like.
I want to get you, Shay.
It's like incredible. Even need to talk about.
Let me explain.
Wait, I just want to define like what is your she's saying what is your world, just so we get a picture.
Right, I
of
want to
where,
understand where you're coming from, because I want to be able to like respond.
You said like if a woman like lead a family or a company, it tears everything down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh really? I feel it. Okay, like
Why don't you actually look at statistics of all the CEOs that are women and how many companies have been destroyed by women because they became CEOs? A good chunk, lady.
I feel it's not true. Like many CEO are females.
Are you feeling it? But like, what do you have to prove me wrong in terms of besides feelings?
Let her finish. Let her finish, please.
Sure, like many leaders are female. That's not what my feelings. Okay, I talk like that, but it's not only my feelings. It's the truth. Okay. And also, many like the leader in a family who take care of the family is woman. And do you hear about a place called Lugu Lake in China? And it's
so she's gonna bring up one random province in China that's probably gonna be a little bit different. Okay.
I don't know the word. It's like a woman society. I don't know the specific
really
word.
It's a woman society.
It's woman society. The woman lead the society, and the family is anyway. Many women live together, and they create the family together, and the man just the helping character, helping role. And what you said, absolutely, in this case, is not right. Like women together, live together, and they will just create chaos. That's very like gender recessed. Can I
ask you a question really quickly? So can you throughout history, right? Can you name me one society around the world that was female led and that was successful?
And 2000, like many years, 2,000 years ago, that is woman society. And what I said, Lugu Lake, also woman lead. And it's much more peaceful than the man leadership.
So it was this Lugu society, they were successful? How come they're not around now?
What?
Like, why are they not here? Why are they not in charge now?
They're still in charge.
I think she's saying they're still
around.
They're still in the Lugu Lake.
I'm just saying, like, I like for the most part, everybody kind of understands like what the dominant societies or whatever.
How many persons are in that How many persons?
I mean, I feel like there's maybe always going to be outliers, but yeah, you've maybe named one in a world which is generally patriarchy, right? I mean,
can I if put it like this is what will happen if there was a female-led society right now. Like, let's say it was a country where it was like led by females and whatever. The men would hear about it and they come and they just conquer that place like that.
Yeah. First and foremost,
that's what will happen.
Most females make their decisions based upon their feelings, and sometimes, like I said, feelings are very much. It doesn't last long. And I had a point to mention to you about about what you mentioned earlier about the I live in a house. All right, I'm in a relationship with multiple women. They live in my home, like we live together. This isn't something I'm polygamous. And they don't search for men. They've been in the market. Jen had these men who gave that. They rather a man that leads as opposed to a man that's like, yeah, so and so. Like they literally tell me every day.
True.
So by you mentioning that, that's like, no, that's not how women are. I live in a house where if I don't mediate, if I don't say, listen, so and so, it becomes total chaos. I'm not asking you. This is something from experience, but I'm just my experience and most people who are in the same.
I would assume his house is a little more chaotic because they're all his wives or his girlfriends, so they have a little bit of a jealousy factor back and forth. So, but women are catty.
Way of life that I am could say the exact same thing.
From my experience, I had the experience. I live with many women together, and we actually create a peaceful, loving community together.
That's beautiful.
And that's we support each other, not like just gossip or what. We create our business together.
We didn't even mention anything about gossip. She brought it up herself.
Together, and also like you said, women create chaos. But if I talk like this, men create wars. Like 99% wars are created by men, are caused by men, right?
Well, I could tell you this. The reason why is because we have to provide, protect, and provision. And most of those things are done because of our family, not necessarily for another man. We don't do anything for a next man. We do it for the women and the children in our community,
correct,
in our country. Not necessarily to say that we just cause it. It happens because we're looking for the future for our children and our women, not necessarily just because of our ego.
If you talk about, sorry, I need to talk it.
Please, yeah.
If you talk about nation, like what if nation? In my opinion, if a nation the world led by women, we will create and produce more peace.
Wrong. See, this is the part where you're wrong because women leaders are way more likely to wage war
and love, and now the world is led by men, and so that's why like a lot of wars happen, like hundreds of years, and also like men attack, and so that's why men need to protect. But if the men like don't attack, so there's no reason to protect.
Okay, sorry, just to butt in here. If you look in history too. Between king and queens who start wars, statistically, queens are more likely to wage war than kings. Mm-hmm. So when you're saying about, men are the reason for all these wars, I mean, if you look in history, that's not the case.
And also, too.
And also in China, no queens. They're all as queens.
Right. But what he's saying is like women
that's not
historically
the point.
The reason. And let me give you another quick, this is another quick statistic. Do you know the relationships that have the most domestic violence in them? Do you guys know? Does anybody know?
I know.
Sorry,
I know.
The relationship dynamic that has the most domestic violence.
Like a
Let me ask you this.
Man,
I know where you're going with
woman,
this.
woman.
yeah.
So wait. Who do you think?
lesbians,
Wait. Yeah. Let me ask you this question real quick. Then, who do you think is the main cause of the problem?
I actually like the silent girl. She seems like she's just sitting and absorbing what's going on, which is good, to tell you the truth. The smartest person in the room usually isn't the loudest person.
In the relationship, is it the man or is it the woman? In general, not talking about your personal relationships. If you had to, like, on a society level, who would you say?
Of course.
From hearing these things on like statistics, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that people
Because you're
always say
different.
men. Well,
She's absorbing.
people always say men. They
Sure,
always say
okay.
that because of the beating, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
That's what they say, men.
Yeah. Exactly. Shay.
Can you repeat your question?
Sure. When it comes to relationships, who's like the biggest cause of the problems? Is it the guy or is it the woman? In general, on a society level.
Creation. I think it doesn't like decided by one person, female or male.
We're not talking about one person. We're talking whole country.
But society, like in general, what do people say?
I feel the partner or the partner in relationship, right?
Yeah.
That's two people create problem together.
But who-
No, we understand that, but like in society, people always say
Who gets the blame? Who gets most of the blame?
Who gets the blame?
And we know people have problems, and we always fight. We do as people. But in society, what do we look at?
Well, not even who do we blame. Who do you think is the biggest cause? Like, who do you think instigates? Who do you think causes these problems? Men or women?
The reason for
I
the
still
problems.
can't answer this question, but in like some situations, most situations, women get the blame.
If you had to give it a number, like, is
I don't
it?
have the blame.
Well, even like in
Okay.
America, like
I'm
if
not
someone's in a
expert.
car and the police stops them and the woman looks upset,
But yeah,
The
okay,
man is
we'll
fucked.
move on. We'll move on. But G, you can finish your point. I know where you're going with this.
Well, no, I was just asking, like, in terms of because it's in terms of like domestic abuse, right? Which relationships? I was asking, like, do you guys know, like, which relationships statistically everywhere?
These guys are a little new. I don't hate on them. They're trying to get the question out, and they're not the whatever podcast yet. But these guys are doing well. I like it. They're not badgering the women. They try to give their points very clearly. Even the women on the other side. This is a nice little podcast I'm enjoying so far.
Or have the highest level of domestic abuse in them? Is it like male, female, male, female? Like, which ones do you guys know? Like, which ones are the highest?
I don't know
Yeah.
personally, but from what I hear, I would
It's like
men.
it's overwhelmingly
Yeah,
lesbian. Like, no, a lesbian
Lesbian.
relationship.
Lesbian
Oh
couple.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
you
all
always
women.
hear the worst cases, right? And yeah, okay, men are more violent. But does that mean we're violent to everyone, or is that just a small minority you're probably hearing from all the news? Yeah, it's typically women relationships, which
They beat the hell out of each other.
they say yeah, this is where the most problems are. And surprisingly enough, the most safest relationships are guy and guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
It is.
There you go.
Well,
So
it's nice to hear that, like where a guy and guy could talk about things and be more instead of violent,
because most men are more logical.
Thanks for watching, guys. Before you go, I do have one small favor to ask. Currently, about 20% of you are watching towards the very end. So if you like what you watched and you want to see more, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Shout outs to Blunt Clarity Podcast. I'm enjoying it. I love their dynamic. I love that it's like one white gentleman, one black gentleman. I like that it's different colored gentlemen. Like if they get a brown gentleman in there and an Asian gentleman in there, I think you get all views of men right there. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. I'll get you guys next time. Ciao.